Welcome to MojoPlays. Today we're looking at the things we most want to see in Pokemon Sword and Shield, no matter how likely or unlikely they may be.
Along the way, there will be many more never-before-seen Pokemon waiting to meet you and be discovered.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Nuzlocke difficulty mode. In recent years, these strict, self-imposed rules have become more and more popular with people looking for a different Pokemon experience, brought on by frequent criticism that the series has become too easy over the years. So putting these rules into the game officially as an additional mode is bound to go over well with players, if there's an incentive to do so, such as rare Pokemon only available in Nuzlocke mode. Game Freak haven't given any indication that they will include an optional Nuzlocke mode, but it is worth holding out hope for. Even if they don't, there will definitely be a Sword and Shield set of Nuzlocke rules appearing online after release. Not an upscaled 3DS game. With the jump to the Nintendo Switch, Sword and Shield will be bridging the gap between those who favor portability and those who favor power. With this in mind, we hope that the next releases take full advantage of the Switch's hardware and capabilities, rather than making a slightly shinier 3DS game. The Switch has surprised everybody by holding its own against Sony and Microsoft since its 2017 debut, and it would be a shame if one of the biggest games set to release for it didn't reach its full potential. Admittedly, what we've seen so far doesn't give us much confidence. Seriously, look at that grass texture. But Game Freak still has time to surprise us before release, so please don't disappoint. Galar Form Pokemon. Where Sun and Moon gave us Alola regional variants, we're hoping this trend will continue from the 7th into the 8th gen. While there's bound to be plenty of new Pokemon endemic to Galar, it would be fun to see new regional designs for the old classics we're all used to. Alolan variants included Rattata, Diglett, and Meowth, but hopefully they won't reuse the same ones for the Galar variants too. The Ekans line could prove interesting if they were redesigned to look more like adders than rattlesnakes, the UK's only venomous snake species, or a new water-type Rapidash to represent the rainy British weather. Some dedicated fans have already taken to the internet to post their own ideas for Galar's natives, including a knight in shining armor version of Golurk. New activities.
We're challenging ourselves to try new things, while still treasuring what makes Pokemon special.
New content added to games can really go any way, but no one will begrudge a developer the chance to add something. Some people want Gen 2 weekly activities and Gen 3's contests to make a return to Sword and Shield, along with a wealth of other post-game content for the completionist in all of us. Galar certainly won't be short on opportunities to add in something new, but how many of those opportunities Game Freak have taken is anyone's guess. Still, there aren't too many ways to go wrong by throwing in some fun, optional minigames here and there. Complete gyms in any order. Initial footage shows the gyms being revamped with a specific Galar twist. They'll now look like enormous stadiums, presumably representing football, or soccer's position as the UK's most popular sport. But while this is all well and good, other fans are hoping that Sword and Shield will give players much more freedom when it comes to gyms. Tackling them in any order, or at least a less restrictive order, would be a breath of fresh air for the franchise. The map has already garnered criticism for looking rather linear, which would prevent gyms from offering much player agency. But there is a way around that. You see that train station near the player's town at the bottom? When players first get on it, have it stop in any of the central towns. Also, if you're worried about walking into a gym with way too powerful Pokemon, that's as simple as level scaling the gym leaders depending on how many badges the player has at that point. Travel to another region. Not that we don't think Galar has plenty to offer all on its own, but an additional region to explore would definitely be cool. A Switch-powered redesign of an older area fans are already familiar with is something nobody would complain about. There's huge potential for something like this to greatly improve the post-game, as a fun, bonus place to explore once you wrap up the story.
The people and Pokemon live here, and they've worked together to develop the industries in the region.
We haven't had a Pokemon game explore two separate regions since Gold and Silver all the way back in 2000, so this is something that is long overdue. Even if this ends up being DLC, we'll be happy. Just give us more post-game content. Keep the game alive. Less hand-holding. Okay, Game Freak, here's the thing. We've been playing Pokemon games for more than 20 years. We have a very good understanding of how the series' mechanics work, and considering Pokemon repeatedly tops best-selling lists, you'd be hard-pressed to find a gamer who hasn't played Pokemon before. So why in Arceus' named your games continue to tell us what to do every single step of the way like we don't know what Pokemon is? It got particularly out of hand in Sun and Moon, as those games kept you on a super tight leash for where you needed to go and when, right up until you got to the Elite Four. Appealing to a wider audience is not a bad thing, to be clear, but when the game is practically playing itself for you, then it stops being fun. A better f***ing rival. The days of having a jerk of a rival in Pokemon games have long been over. In recent releases, the rivals take the form of your supportive friend who only hopes to see you succeed. As a result, there's no motive to battle and upstage them, not compared to the likes of Blue or Silver from Gens 1 and 2 respectively. Many fans are hoping that Sword and Shield will be a return to form where the rival mechanic is concerned. At the heart of it, the friendly rivals aren't as interesting as a cruel one would be either. Hell, you'd be hard-pressed to find Pokemon fans who can remember the names of all the rivals from the last decade without resorting to Google. Hopefully, the newest installment will bring with it a real, nasty piece of work for you to fight. Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.